Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Warren Canonigo, and you're watching My Life Icons. I am so excited for this episode because I'll be doing something first in my channel. And that is, for the first time, I will be interviewing my icon virtually. Yes, virtually. And one of the reasons for that is the fact that he is an Ilonggo and he is now based in Bacolod City, his hometown. Later, you will know why he is one of my life icons. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Benjan Gohing. Hi, Ben.
Hey, Scotia, kamusta?
I am
How are
good.
you?
Thank you for saying yes. Your yes means a lot to me because
Ah,
you're a dear friend, no, back in the call center floor of people support. Um,
yes.
Let me first tell you that the reason why I chose one of your pictures to be my profile picture for 24 hours is because I was really happy when we exchanged chats for the first time in almost 10 years. We haven't seen, we haven't seen each other for 10 years, so I miss you and our clique members, no, the gang, the rest of the members, Tintin, Irvin, Joy, basta daghan, Roxy. Hello guys if you're
Yeah,
watching.
single ka.
Yeah, so that's why. And thank you for being such a good sport. And you didn't fear about us being accused of having a relationship. So you're really a true friend because you don't think of any malice at all. So thank you very much. My first question, Gid, is what was your reaction? How did you feel when I proposed that you'll be guesting in my vlog?
Ah, grabe kayo question. Well, at first I was kinda sana kanang I really don't know what to say because I'm not really used to like doing things like this.
Mga show.
So medyo something new siya for me. But of course, I think you mentioned it earlier also, realizing that it's also a perfect opportunity for me to get in touch and at the same time to remember my call center journey back then, di ba? So that's the reason why I said yes. And of course, who can say no to Scotia, di ba?
Thank you.
Well love ba yan sa people support?
And I'm also sure that if there are colleagues of ours before back in the floor would see this, I'm sure they would also be happy. And I'm sure they will reach out after watching this episode.
Yeah,
Um,
you actually was one of our source of entertainment back in people support, especially if the queue is not really it's not queuing, di ba? So we usually do like we play games and you impersonate people, so it's super fun.
Correct. Thank you. So we really had fun amidst the challenges of the call center job. But before we go deeper and talk more about our life on the floor. Actually, the floor is our jargon for the office, right? The call center office.
Yeah.
Our office space, our workspace. But anyway, Ben, can you tell us the history first? I mean, of course, we became friends because of our call center work. You applied, I applied,
Yes.
we met during the training,
Yes.
and of course, we worked together for the team. Um, why did you travel from Bacolod? Why did you have to leave your hometown and your family and venture into a work in Cebu City, which is a big city and it's really scary, I believe, if you're from outside Cebu and then you venture. What was your main motivation? Why did you have to go to Cebu and work?
Okay, okay. Simple. It's there are only two things that I can really think of. It's during that time it's all about money and career. Because back then, prior to people support, I was a tutor for Koreans in University of Saint Lasal.
Yes,
Yes.
sure.
I think that was like for almost a year. But the salary that time, I think it's like I started with 50 pesos per hour.
My God.
So like if you only have like 4 or 5 students, I think the rate is really really low, and the fact also that you have to, to travel to and from your work, and pay your bills, so it's not really enough. So
Worth it.
one time, people support came here in Bacolod, and then they have that, it's like a caravan, a job fair.
Job
And
fair.
then I actually decided to give it a try, because maybe it's a perfect opportunity, because that time, the people support HR team are telling us that it's going to be all expense paid. So there will be hotel, there will be a flight inclusion as well in the package. And at the same time, if you will be hired, okay, so you will stay in a good hotel. I think that was, I forgot the name.
Is it near ID Park?
Forgot the name.
But is it near ID
Yeah, but somewhere, no, it's actually somewhere near Business Park. In like, I think it's like, and then you have to stay there for 30 days. So I met a couple of people who also applied, and so I joined the call center environment, and I was in Cebu, and the rest history. I met good friends like you. So there, I think it's way better than what I have experienced.
I could not also blame you, Ben, because during that time, the call centers were mushrooming in Cebu and in Manila, and the job opportunity and the pay, it's the benefits and the pay are really attractive at that time. So
Yes, agree. Yes, because a lot of people, when you say back then, I think that was 2007. No, back then, when you say call center, the money is really good. And
yeah,
I think during that time there were like several accounts who are like, giving a lot of freebies, and then they're also giving a lot of incentives and bonuses to their agents. So as long as, of course, they perform, so on top of the regular pay that they're receiving, they're actually receiving performance bonuses. So that, attracts me to really, why not sign up for this job, because maybe this is a perfect opportunity for me to earn money. Because during that time, I was so new to the industry, and then I was fresh, from graduating from my school as a nurse. So basically, you're carefree, you're young, you want to do something different, you want to get out of your comfort zone. So Cebu was a perfect place. I believe, and I consider Cebu as my second home.
and you thought it's gonna be an amazing experience that will teach you great lessons about life and
Exactly.
relationships.
Seryoso kayo. Yes.
And Ben, what was your? Okay, let's talk about the things that you really love about our call center job, and the things that you think could have been made into a better experience, or you know what I mean. So let's talk about the things that you love and the things that you want to improve.
Things that I love is, I think number one are really the people. I met you. I met my Cebuano best friends. Ate Joy, si Melka, sila Jim Rex. Today are really like long time friends, and even until right now, I'm already here in Bacolod, and I think Jim Rex is still in Cebu. Ate Joy is in Canada. Milka is in Singapore, but the bond is still
Or
there.
you,
Yeah, and then we still communicate. Yeah, and even some of my friends, like Tintin. Sometimes we see each other on Facebook. So like, comments, Kayfie, always the big hugs. Si Roxy, I think she's in Boracay. Si Nikki, I think in the US. So in Sababas. Actually, a lot of wonderful people. So I would say that when you join the industry, definitely you'll meet a lot of people from you know, different all walks of life, and they're really cool. And then people in call center are really happy-go-lucky. And I think kuan siya, what do they call that? Like when I left, I really miss that, you know, kanang time. Like for example, whenever that we have that opportunity to really talk and discuss things, we just have to move our chairs. It's so easy to move our chairs and then go to the next table and then, you know, talk with the other mate. Yes, yes. And that usually happens sa mga I'm not sure, Elbok, di ba? We call it Elbok time. So
Correct.
we usually do that. So number one is people. Next is good also sa, for me personally, I think it was a perfect avenue for me to improve also my communication skills, because back then I'm not really that good in speaking, and at the same time when you get to talk to, like, I think if I can recall, 80 to 100 calls, you know, you got to talk to 80 to 100 American people every day. So that's actually one way for you to improve your skills in communicating. So those are, you know, and honestly, I was able to use that in my previous work as well. That experience was really helpful, especially in my current job and katong mga job pa nako after my call center um kumbaga stint. So kana siya, I think ang good.
Yes.
So something that you can kuan, maybe we can improve.
Yeah, but before you speak,
Some
before
Oh
you,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I really agree with you because it's really comforting to be surrounded by really decent and educated people. No, because when you're
Uh,
in a call center, you're surrounded by really educated people, very decent people. I think yes, you're correct. When you speak with native English speakers, like in our case for the account we were working for, you have to speak with Americans every day. For some reason, you get really, you can really improve your communication skills in English.
yes. And you remember that we have mga kauban nato before in the job that like I think months ago you hear them speaking like the the very Filipino way with all the accent and everything. And then after like 3 or 4 months, and then you get to hear them, you know, they sound different already.
Nice that you have.
So I yeah, that is actually a proof that, you know, when you get to practice on a day to day, and you say, of course, we have also the EOP policy in our workplace, diba? So there is a really huge tendency that, you know, your skill really will improve,
Exactly.
and
Aside
the
from
way you sound will become different.
and aside from the people, and aside from the the training, the language training, communications training, the pay was great, especially if we work on the holidays. Do you remember? Like
Yes.
the pay is doubled, and the night shift,
Yes.
or how do you call that, Ben? Night premium or something is also doubled.
Hazard pay.
The hazard.
See, we have that.
My goodness. Okay, let's talk about the other side of it. You first.
The other side of it, well, for me, number one siguro is that, and this is very common for call center agents, no, people who are working in this industry, is that I'm not so sure with them, no, but with me, I always have that lack of sleep, because there are times that, you know, you work in the afternoon and all of a sudden you have to, you know, attend your work at around, I think, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
Ah, like the
So
sun
from an afternoon schedule, and then you change shift. So tendency is that your body could not really adjust
right
like
away.
really fast. Uh, and then at the same time, sometimes you really have no choice, even though that you're very sleepy, you really have to take calls and say thank you for calling, even though you're very sleepy. And there are, I think, many instances that I had one that I fell asleep during the call. And I know I'm not the only one. I know there's a lot of people in the floor also
Everyone
have
is
experienced the same
lifestyle.
thing. And I think how we handle also our finances, and I think health also. So those are just the. But I'm not saying this is for everybody, because if you can really manage everything, even though that you are a call center agent, and you can manage things accordingly, I think it's those things will not be your problem or your concern.
Yeah, I think to be able not to feel, so much the disadvantages of the job, you need to have perfect or impeccable discipline, which is really, really very hard to do. Like remember during our break time, like when we eat our lunch, when we go down from the third floor, from whatever floor you come from or you work during that day. When you go down, you don't see eatery, you don't see carinderia, you don't see the bakeries where you can buy cheap pastries. What you'll see are really restaurants and cafes.
Yeah,
So
like
when it's,
yeah, yeah, because maybe these business owners really thought that we're serving these people and they have a lot of money. So maybe that's the reason why that all the coffee shops are there, all the big restaurants are there. You
yeah,
know.
it's hard to say. It's really hard to say.
Mm.
So that's it. But then again, you're correct. It's not about the company, but it's just really about the person. You just need to have a perfect sense of discipline to be able
Yes.
to just.
And I think it's not only in call center, diba? It can also happen to any type of jobs if you're not very keen with your health and how you manage also your finances.
And speaking of other jobs, we will talk about your new job now. But before that, let's first talk about some highlights or memorable moments on the floor. Like for example, I will mention one, and then I want you to add. For me, the white Christmas party that we had was really memorable. But I don't know if you were on duty during that day when we had the party, the white Christmas. Were you
Um,
when we need
I,
those Christmas
I,
time?
yeah, I cannot really remember everything, no.
Maybe
But I remember that sa Elite we have a lot of theme parties, and we get to dress
yeah.
whatever dress that is
Like the
required,
Gossip Girl.
diba?
Do you remember the Gossip Girl? Gossip
The
Girl.
Gossip Girl, yeah, it was really fun, diba? And then we have different roles that we play, diba? And then what I like also is that we when we have already our costume, like we're on the go to take good pictures. Back then I think it's the selfies, and I think it's not that really really uh, a thing back then, but um it was super nice. It's super cool. I remember I wore I don't
Like
know what they call it, like a suspender. Yeah, yeah. And I think we have a picture together. Yeah, we had that, and we have a lot of theme parties
yes,
actually,
exactly.
diba? And sometimes even after our year-end parties, with all the maybe you guys accessories and the makeup, then go back to the floor, then say thank you for calling
Also,
again.
the costume and everything.
Yeah, as if nothing really happened. So
Exactly.
I remember we have a lot, and I just can't recall all the themes because to be honest, there are so many.
There were a
Like
plethora.
there's too many of them. Yeah.
So I can say, Ben, that our call center experience was really a crucial, like really an important facet of my humanity. Like it taught me a lot of lessons, and I'm sure you do, right?
Yes. Yes.
But sometimes we miss sleeping at night, so that's why we go back to our passion, we go back to our hometown and be more comfortable and be contented
Yes.
with
Yes.
what
Yes.
we experience. So right now, what's your job right now? Tell me more about it.
Oh, okay. So it's totally different because right now I am. My job is I. Is it okay to give the name of the company? Or maybe yeah, I can skip that. But I'm working a yeah. Yeah, it's a bank and also an insurance company. So I'm working as a bank assurance area manager. So my job is basically I manage people. I have different BSEs or bank assurance sales executives that I manage in 7 branches. So specifically, I'm managing the, if I can name it, I think it will be fine. People know already I work there. So I have staffs for BPI Family Savings Bank in Negros Occidental and Oriental, and all the BPI branches in BPI Dumaguete and of course Mais. So I have BSEs on those branches. So I'm their boss, so they report to me, and then I'm the one responsible also for their performance. So medyo lahi siya from what we had in Cebu, but this is something new,
And I think the
and
position you're
I
holding up
enjoy it.
is high ranking. That's a high ranking position, right? In your
Yeah. It's already a managerial position. So the risk is also big, and the responsibility as well.
congratulations for that. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
So
you,
happy.
thank you.
So what's the similarity and what's the difference?
Similarity. Well, honestly, when you're doing sales, because I'm basically doing sales, and you know that back then in people support in our travel account Expedia, if I may say it, no, we usually also sell hotels,
Okay,
flights, cars,
not all the
diba?
time.
Yeah, not all the time, but we're called universal agents
Yes.
because we do sales and we do customer service at the same time. Yes, and back in the days, diba, we usually sell and then describe the features of the hotels and then the location as if we are actually in there,
There.
no? So, but they didn't know that we're in the Philippines.
And for
But
American
unless,
students,
yes. So we usually sell those stuff to our clients abroad in the U.S. and in other parts of the world as well. Here you get to sell also, but this time what we're selling is insurance. So it's the same thing, that we still have that same concept in selling. How to deal with the clients and how to really persuade people to really buy your product. So it's almost the same as what we're doing, except that of course the product is different. Because our product was travel products back then. This one is insurance, and we always talk about how they manage their funds. So we give also advices. So just like also in Expedia, we give travel advices to our clients so that they won't miss their flights and everything. So here we give advices, but this time on how they manage their finances, how they prepare for the future. So that's what we do. I think that's the similarity of the job. The difference is, if I may, the difference is it's face to face, and really it's totally different if it's over the phone, because over the phone sometimes you can place yourself on mute and you can still commit mistakes, and you can still ask your supervisor that, so what will be the next step, or what should I do, what should I say. So you can do that, and we have that opportunity to tell our clients that, may I place you on hold. So that's what we do. It's totally different from the call center environment, but whatever lessons that I've learned, on how to become professional, how to communicate with people, I think I was able to use that, and even until right now, I'm using it. Because remember that I left. It's already ages, I think, when I left. I left and I was a trainer back then. So um, I was under the team of Darwin, okay, with Eloy and Yvonne, diba? So during that time, I think I learned a lot, okay, and I use all those trainings to my BSEs or my staffs right now. So how to handle clients when they are irate, because we always get to experience irate clients over the phone. So I use that, and then I often create materials, okay, like a PowerPoint materials, and then I have that training session for my BSCs. So whatever lessons that I've learned from my past work, specifically sa call center industry, it's actually being applied even up to this date. And I always do training to my BSEs, and I can tell that it was really really effective because it shows also, and I see change from them. So
Listening to you, Ben, I realized that our call center experience will always be, it's already embedded, it's already carved, it's already
yes,
glued to our professional skills and the professional side of our humanity. And wherever we go, we bring the legacy.
yes, exactly.
So happy with what you're doing now and what's keeping you busy. What happened to the nursing degree?
Ah, wala na pag-asa. And it's a good thing that I did not become a nurse, because maybe if I was, maybe I'm one of the nurses who are fighting for the COVID-19 pandemic. and and maybe I always believe that God has other plans for me, maybe. And I discovered also that because remember, in LaSalle I did tutorial, and then call center, and then during call center days I applied as a trainer, so I get to teach people, diba? So I saw and I discovered my passion in teaching and in inspiring other people when I was in call center. So now, even though I'm managing a team, I'm also teaching them on a day-to-day basis, and I train them as well. So I don't think that I will still become, I will still go back to nursing, although I love nursing. But I think that right now I'm happy where I am. I'm very contented, and I don't see myself in the healthcare industry anymore.
And I believe whatever you learn, whatever skills, knowledge you have learned from studying nursing will not be put into waste, because you can always use them wherever you go.
Yeah, I always use them. I always tell them about, even in the process of handling our clients and even handling our sales. I always tell them about the concept, like of course nursing care plan concept, like from assessment, from diagnosis of the problem, from doing intervention, the rationale behind it, and at the same time, how do you evaluate? And if it's not really working, you still have to go back to that process again. So that is still in place, and that is still effective even up until today.
You and no one can steal it from you. It will always be there. It will always be there.
Yes, and I think nurses are very flexible, and I know a lot of people who are also, who were nurses, who's in different industries now. They are really, really flexible.
Then going back to the time when you already resigned, what was the number one factor or the number one motivating factor or reason that prodded you to go back to Bacolod City, to go back to your hometown?
Oh, okay. It's a long journey. Yeah, well, that time, I should have not, kumbaga, I really love Cebu. Okay, I really love Cebu, and I really wanted to stay there longer. But during that time, I don't know if you heard about it, but I've been hospitalized for a couple of times already. Because that time, my first hospitalization, I thought it was a heart attack because I was having chest pains, and you know, I really felt really bad. Health wise, I'm not really really good. So I went to Chongwa, and during that time the doctors can't find out what I was feeling. So I had to undergo different tests, and then I've been going back and forth to the hospital. So bottom line is, I wasn't well. It was a health reason. And during that time, I was trying to deny what what I'm experiencing. I was actually hiding it from my family as well, and even to work, I don't tell everyone about how I feel. But that time, I said that maybe it's time for me to bid goodbye to the industry. So during that time also, I applied abroad, wherein I was already hired for a Dubai position. But during that period, I was having a what they call that. It's like a breakdown. So it's both physical and it's mental. Because I think that I got too stressed with work during that time. There's
But
like
you
so
had
many works.
anxiety disorder, I believe. You had anxiety disorder.
Yeah, I have had anxiety disorder, and during that time, like I couldn't walk anymore. And then my neighbors in Cebu, in Laho, were like assisting me. And then when my parents knew about it, they went. They flew all the way from Bacolod so that they could see my situation in there. So I was really trying my best to go back in shape, but that time I think I was really having mental disorder.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, but I am just trying to deny it, you know. But on top of the mental disorder, I was diagnosed of GERD, or gastroesophageal reflux disease. So it's because of stress. So stress is not good. So don't follow my footsteps.
Actually,
So
the GERD thing, the GERD is already a complication of your anxiety disorder because you keep
oh, we know it started with GERD. It
yes,
started with GERD, and then GERD lead to anxiety.
that,
So during that time, I was like going back and forth to a gastroenterologist, and then I was told that you really have to take some rest. But during that time, given that I am a breadwinner,
mhm,
I really did not think of stopping. So I came to work still doing the old things that I do, but it became worse until such time that I couldn't go back to work anymore.
yes,
And that was the time that I also, I decided to just, quit the job, and I resigned. And when I went back to Bacolod, it did not stop from there. I told my mom when we had a consultation, because I've been consulting to different doctors already, and they cannot cure my, you know, illness, which is GERD. And people said that it won't be cured. It will still go back. So there's no need for you to really think that it can be cured, because once it's in your body, it will really be in there. So during that time, I felt really hopeless, and I went to depression.
worry.
Yes, and until one day, me being a nurse, also the nurse in me, told myself that I think you need to go to a doctor. So I told my mother that um, don't tell me to go to a gastroenterologist. Let's go there, but let's get a slip, because I want to be referred to a psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist.
So yes, I went to a psychiatrist, and I have undergone psychiatric session. I was diagnosed of agoraphobia coupled with panic disorder.
Disorder.
So it took me 2 years. For 2 years, I was really suffering. I was really thin, super thin. I was not in shape. And then I was having the depression. I was taking antidepressants and all. So yeah, it took a while. It took a while. That's why I wasn't able to go back to Cebu anymore. And then I had to regain my strength. You know, I those were the dark days of my life.
Aside from your family, Ben, as your main support system during that time in your life and all the seasons of your life, your family will always be there. How many sessions did you have with your therapist, your psychiatrist, before she declared you clear of the mental issue?
No, I wasn't declared clear actually. I have had, I think, 4 sessions with her.
4 sessions.
But yeah, but during that time, she's giving me a lot of, you know, anxiolytics, the medications and everything. So um, to be honest, it changes me, my mood, and then although it made me calm, it made me feel better. So my father told me that, you know, you can do it. It's all in the mind. And people would always tell people who are suffering from mental disorder that it's all in the mind, but actually it's not. It's so easy for you to say that, but the person who's suffering that type of illness, if it's a mental illness, um, it's so hard for them to do that. What I did is, given also that my background is a nursing, graduate, so I made a nursing care plan for myself. Okay, so I went to the pathophysiology of the illness. Why did I experience this? What was the reason why? So I tried to identify all those, wrote it down, and at the same time, I went to YouTube. Okay, I searched for all those people who were suffering from mental illness, from panic attacks, from depression. So I googled everything, what they did. Although some individuals usually they sell their formula, but I got to to realize that there are some people that is really giving good advices about how to handle mental stress or mental illness. So I wrote down everything, and then slowly I said I wanna be fit, so I jog, I eat the right food, and at the same time, I'm reading the Bible. But I'm okay now. I'm already well, so don't worry.
Celebrate. Thank you so much, Ben, for having the courage to really divulge a very dark experience in your life. And I believe that's really humbling because you said you have to read the Bible and you recognize that aside from the interventions that you do to be able to help yourself get therapy, you also read the Bible. So you recognize that there is someone really more powerful and someone who can really help us and that everything else is useless without him. So that's very good.
Yes,
And also, it's
agree.
empowering and liberating because you will know that you're stronger than you think, right?
Yes, yes. And I did not even expect that, like right now, 'di ba? Although I'm not trying to brag, I'm already a bank assurance area manager. So had I allowed myself to still suffer from panic attack, from those anxiety, from depression, and those phobias that I have had back then, had I continued to allow it to really ruin me, to really consume me, maybe I am not who I am today.
Exactly.
So it's really important that you have to really stay strong, and it's really important that you should be the captain of your own ship. You
Exactly.
have to control everything that is on your mind, and you have to always think about positive things. And when there are things that is beyond your control, you should know how to let go. And you should also learn how to say no if things are too much for you. To honestly, I was able to help a lot of people also suffering from mental illness in a secret way. I did not, because as much as possible, I don't want to broadcast it to everyone that, hey, I've had that before or something like that. Because people in the Philippines, especially Calono, we are not that very open. Because when we talk about mental illness, we always think about nabuang naman na siya, or that guy is crazy or something like that.
Or the fact of
But
seeing a psychiatrist is
yeah,
already something
yeah,
that
the fact that you're seeing a psychiatrist, people will always think that you are not sane, you are not well. So that will lead to that. So I think I can remember, there's that page on Facebook that I have commented, and I did not expect that people will also comment on that post, and then a lot of people PM'd me, and then I realized that there are actually quite a lot of people who are suffering from that same mental illness also. and I give them my advices on how to handle it. And I told them that you got to, to stay strong. I know people will tell you it's all in the mind, but they will never understand what you're suffering. So those kinds of things. And I got to help people from Leyte, from Davao, from Cebu, uh, through chat. But I don't just broadcast it because it's private, and I don't want them to also experience what I have experienced before.
So right now, Ben, you're being used as an instrument, as an instrument
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
healing and as an instrument for other people to lean on to. And you're a perfect example of the idea that no matter how many people are willing to help you, if it wouldn't start from yourself, then it's so hard to be well, or it's so hard to really
Yes,
recover. It should start with you,
yes,
and you have that
yeah,
discipline, and you have that part. Well, part of you, when you have mental illness, part of you is an enemy. Not part of yourself is an enemy, and the remaining
yes.
part is like an angel. So it's a constant
It's a
battle
battle.
to recover.
Yeah, and every day it's an everyday battle that when you wake up, that thought will be feeding you this, and then the other thought will feed you this. So it's really a battle of choosing positivity on a daily basis.
And
But once you get, once you overcome it, um, it will make you more stronger. It will make you a different person, a source of inspiration. They can also do that.
correct. Thank you very much. But I did. I had anxiety disorder before, and I was under therapy for 6 months, and I'm a survivor, and I'm so proud of that. And I can also say that I'm instrumental in educating other people, and it's so fulfilling. It's a different kind of sense of fulfillment if you're able to help someone survive
Yes,
from a mental health issue. So it's a different
yes,
kind of
agree.
happiness, actually. So thank you very much, Ben, for giving your time and giving
Okay.
all to this interview. I appreciate it. So far, this is one of the best interviews I have had. Thank you very much for your time. And I hope to see you soon in the flesh for the first time in
Okay.
10 years. I hope to be there.
It's been a while, no?
Ah, I hope to be there in Bacolod
Yeah,
very, very soon when it's already okay to
sure.
travel. And
Okay, sure, sure.
we'll catch up, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Bye, Ben. Thank
Bye
you.
bye. Thank you very much, Koshan. Thank you for guesting me in your show. I hope that you'll get more viewers. Okay, thank you so much. And it was nice to meet you again. See you soon in the flesh.
See you in
Okay,
Bacolod. Bye.
have a good day. Okay, bye bye.